Am I the a-hole for calling my daughter-in-law a fucking hypocrite and leaving without her? My daughter-in-law has a lot of boundaries. She has high-functioning autism. The first day I met her she gave a list of everything I can do around her, and if I did she will leave or tell me off. Some of the stuff makes sense, other shit just seems like a power move. There are a lot of things, but one of them is no matter what you have to be on time. If not, she will not let you in or leave without you. On their wedding day me and my spouse were late due to a large crash in the city. We sat in the back when we came in. Everyone knew what happened since multiple people were affected. She chews up out in her wedding speech. Next big thing was we were 5 minutes late to get dinner with them and she was pissed and told us to leave. Our son doesn't do anything about it. Today we were supposed to meet them so we can drive them to the airport. We started calling them 15 minutes into them being late. No answer. They were an hour late when they got to the spot. I told them I can't drive them anymore since I need to get to my club and go Uber. This ended up in an argument and I called her a hypocrite. They left after I drove away and my son is calling me an asshole and I need to apologize for this. Should I apologize? Am I the a-hole for undermining my sister-in-law's parenting and making her daughter hate her? I, F38, have 2 daughters, F13, F8, with my husband Max, M40. Max's sister Rose, F30, has a 11-year-old daughter, Anna. Rose never told us who Anna's dad is, and he is not in the picture. Max's mom helped Rose with childcare till she graduated college. Unfortunately, Max's mom died in 2020 due to COVID. Rose had to leave city for a month for her work. She asked if we could take in Anna and we agreed. In our house, my kids are responsible for washing their own dishes or putting them in dishwasher, putting clothes in laundry and cleaning up their own messes. I don't assign any chores or have them help out more cause I believe they should use that time for studying or any other activities they partake in. But they also don't have phones and have to use laptop in common areas. So they are not goofing off. They both read a lot, which I love, as a bookworm myself. They don't have bedtimes or a rule to keep their rooms perfectly clean. I was raised in a house where both these existed and I hated them. Little messiness, while ruining aesthetic, won't kill me. I do teach them all life skills such as cooking, cleaning, laundry, shopping, etc. Even my 8-year-old knows this. I just do this during vacations. I don't like taking time away during school year. They are expected to do well in school and get into activities which they do. This was surprising to Anna when she came to live with us. Rose had strict rules about bedtime, room cleanliness, and asked Anna to help with all chores. My bookworm school-oriented kids made Anna want to study more. She asked if I could help her study like I helped my kids. I said yes and she performed really well in school that month. Hers went up on our fridge with her cousins and we were all happy for her. But when Rose came back last month and took Anna home, her grades started dropping again. Anna blamed Rose for making her work so hard and said I hate you. I wish, was my mom. Rose called and blamed me for putting ideas into her daughter's head. That she doesn't have a partner and can't maintain a perfect house like me. She said I was an offer undermining her parenting and making her daughter hate her. Am I the a-hole for refusing to bleach my hair for a wedding? So I, 25F, am meant to be in the bridal party of my friend Zoe's, 26F, wedding in December 2024. A couple days ago, she met with me and the rest of the bridal party to discuss what the plan was for hair, makeup, dresses, etc. At first it seemed reasonable. She's going for a winter wonderland type of theme, so blue dresses, all in different shades, lined up as a gradient, with silvery accents, snowflake jewelry and soft makeup, even blue contacts for those of us without blue eyes. Last one's a bit weird, but it's no big deal to me. I've worn color contacts for Halloween. The bit that ended up being an issue for me is that Zoe requested we all get our hair dyed. A couple members of the bridal group are natural blondes, with dyed ends, and so is Zoe, but she wants to go platinum for the wedding, but the rest of us are 2 brunettes, a strawberry blonde, she wasn't blonde enough, and a redhead. I'm one of the brunettes and I'm the only one in the group who has never dyed or bleached their hair. I've considered it, but I can never stay settled on what I want to do, and I'd hate to spend money on something that I end up hating. On top of that, my mom spent from ages 5 to 13 flat ironing my hair almost every single day. It really damaged my hair. I'm almost certain it's resulted in my hair being thinner than it used to be. I know bleaching can also damage your hair, and I don't feel comfortable taking that risk yet. I told Zoe I wouldn't be able to dye my hair. She insisted it would be fine, as my hair seemed quite healthy and she would be paying for the bleaching treatments for all of us. I again said no, thanks so much, but I can't. I asked if I could just wear a wig and she said no, that wigs are cheap and unnatural, and she wants us to have our real hair bleached instead of some cheap imitation for the day. After more back and forth, she told me I should go home and think about the fact that I'm ruining her vision and that I'd be ruining the photos and wedding video that she and her fiancé, 30M, will be putting together for his grandparents, 84M and 82F, to view, since they won't be able to fly in from Argentina. I apologized, paid for my meal, and left. I really don't want to dye my hair, but I also don't want to ruin Zoe's picture-perfect day. I don't think I'm being difficult or wrong here, but am I? Am I the a-hole for not including my nephew and referring to my niece as my daughter? My brother has two kids, Henry 17 and Aria 16. Henry is his wife's child and Aria is his affair partner's child. While he is a good dad to Henry, he is a terrible dad to Aria. He is the every other weekend dad who does the bare minimum. Unfortunately, Aria has a terrible mom too, so she spends most of her time at my home. I love experiencing new things like new food, new activities, going to new cities. And Aria has started to enjoy these too, so a few times a week we like to try something new. She also has an Instagram page that she posts everything she does. A few days ago my brother called me and said that Henry is upset that I never include him and asked if I could take Henry with me as well sometimes. That's when I lost it. I asked him if he seriously expects me to parent his son too, while I basically had to adopt his daughter. I told him that frankly I don't care that Henry is feeling left out and I'm not going to include him in activities I do with my daughter. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my sister with her kids and telling her she can ask our parents since I'm so ungrateful, childish and spiteful? I, 24F, am the youngest of two. My sister Elizabeth is 28. Growing up she was the golden child and I was the scapegoat. While she could do no wrong, I could never do anything right where our parents were concerned. Her opinion and feelings held all the weight while mine held none at all. My parents have described Elizabeth as the perfect daughter and their dream come true. They also lived in a country with no abortion access when mom got pregnant with me. I believe because they didn't want another child or because I look like my mom's deadbeat father that I was treated as I was. Elizabeth and I were not close growing up. Sometimes she would throw the favoritism in my face with questions: why don't mom and dad ask what your favorite food is? Why do they never take you on special trips? Why do you have to do chores to earn birthday and Christmas gifts? I was 12 when I spoke to a trusted adult who said golden kids sometimes don't realize how wrong it is and can be really messed up by the favoritism but can grow to be better people. I was encouraged to keep the door open and told she might be my biggest ally. So even though I often got punished for crap she do, like sneaking out, I hoped. 3 years ago Elizabeth came to me and said she hated how our parents treated me and she was sorry for being insensitive as a kid. We got close, which I loved. She told me she basically had no contact with our parents. I found out a few months ago that it was a lie and she was always in contact with our parents, and I found this out thanks to her throwing a party to celebrate the birth of her second child. My parents were there and commented that they were glad they had a child to give them grandkids, and since they would only ever have 2 grandkids, they could spoil them rotten. Elizabeth beamed. Elizabeth's Mill asked about me and Elizabeth scowled at her for asking. It really hurt to see her react like that. Elizabeth asked for my help a lot. Babysit, pick up groceries, come help with the kids, etc. She would mention mom and dad and how great they were as parents and how they'd be even better grandparents. I reminded her they were terrible parents to me. She rolled her eyes the first couple of times. But then she said I was ungrateful and childish considering all they had done for her, and she said it was spiteful to be angry at them after all this time. I told her I had every right to be, and she said I hold on to petty shit because I'm spiteful. I brought up the fact she lied about having no contact with mom and dad and she called me childish again. My sister's husband was injured and she started to struggle with the kids and seeing him. She asked me for help with the kids and I found out she only asked me because our parents were busy and she didn't want to inconvenience them. I refused to help her and told her she should ask our parents since I'm so ungrateful, childish and spiteful. She said I was an asshole for my response and lack of help.